Well, hello. Welcome back. Here's a little beauty I've got tonight. The Ring Nebula. Planetary nebula, and looking really good at the moment. So, tell you more about that as we go along. Find some information on that. Okay. Let's see what I've got going on here. Got some noise coming in there, so that's good. So the mic's working. That's fine. Okay, so the Ring Nebula, also known as M57, is a planetary nebula in the northern constellation of Lyra. Such a nebula is formed when a star, during the last stages of its evolution before becoming a white dwarf, expels a vast luminous envelope of ionized gas into the surrounding interstellar space. So there you go. How far away is it from us? And what's more, my telescope found it straight away, which was amazing. I didn't have to line it up or anything. I don't know why I didn't get the other objects like that, but it certainly got this one. So that was really good too. It doesn't actually tell me how far this one is away, so I'm not going to bother looking that up anymore. We'll get on with have a look and viewing it. I have to say that is pretty stunning today. It does look great. It's going to be really, really lovely when I do process it later. Anyway, that's enough talking to myself for now. Excuse me. Those last two have moved slightly, so that's not as good as I thought it was going to be. What am I taking? I'm taking 60 shots, 2 minutes each at the moment. That's what I'm doing. With a filter, my trusty filter. That's got it. I like that a lot. I think it might be a successful night, actually, tonight. So this is the Ring Nebula, M57. It's a planetary nebula. I explained it all earlier and I haven't got it up on the screen right now, so, and I'm using my filter. And the DSLR camera right now. And I'm taking 60 shots, all at 2 minutes each. And I'll probably end up with about 40 at the end, because I'll throw away about 20 of them. Hey, how you doing? Yes, we are looking at the Ring Nebula M57, which is an absolute corker tonight. I'm using a filter, um, which is looking really good even at this level. And I'm taking 60 shots, um, all at 2 minutes each. And I think it's time to make a cup of tea because it's going to be quite a long night because it's only taken 14 so far. So, but it's staying in the middle of the screen, which is nice, and the shots look steady. I think that looks really steady. So I've seen better tonight. So I think I'm going to go and get a coffee. Enjoy watching that for me. Right, I'm back. Right, so what will the final result be? What will it look like? What are you expecting? Well, it's going to be in colour, for sure. And it's going to be there's going to be a deep blue in there. And I think there's going to be a kind of a red tip round edge. Now, because I've got the filter on, I think that's going to produce a bit more colour in the infrared spectrum. And I believe I've taken a lot of the light pollution out as well. So what I'm expecting from this is the best ever shot I've ever taken of the Ring Nebula. In full colour, and I've learned how to process a bit more actually now as well, so that's getting better and better as well. So maybe I should put that up as well, put up a version of me trying to edit the photo. I've always been a little bit nervous about posting videos of that because I'm not very good at it at the moment, so it's been one of those things of just hiding away. But maybe I'll just do it live just for the hell of it, and then we can go through the process together. What did I do with my glasses? Okay, well, M57 is a planetary nebula that, hang on a minute, I'll get the details up again and let you know. Okay, so the Ring Nebula, also known as Messier 57, is a planetary nebula in the northern constellation of Lyra. Such a nebula is formed when a star, during its last stages of its evolution, before becoming a white dwarf, expels a vast luminous envelope of ionized gas into the surrounding interstellar space. This nebula was discovered by the French astronomer Charles Messier while searching for comets in January 1779, Messi's report of his independent discovery of a comet Bode reached fellow French astronomer Antoine Darquier de Pellepoix, I think, 2 weeks later, who then independently rediscovered the nebula while following the comet. Darquier later reported that it was as large as Jupiter and resembled a planet which is fading. That's about it, really. So that is M57. And it is 1 o'clock in the morning. And we have still got at least another 40 shots to go. And if it carries on like this, then maybe I'll just stay up and see if we can get a few more. That's what I'm doing tonight, by the look of it. It's a great night out there. I mean, that's a lot of stars, and that's just in a 2-minute shot. So the final image, there's going to be a bucket load more stars than that in that shot. And the final results for this shot will be shown probably tomorrow on that Facebook page down here, which you're welcome to join and check out, because that's where all the finished photos are. And anything I do on here goes on there. Well, I mean, that's strange, isn't it? It's like when they'd seen things like Saturn as well, you know, and they're finding objects like this. They're kind of, I mean, it's amazing what they did know or what they did presume back then, and just kind of looked at it through like maths. Do you know what I mean? And worked out kind of what was going on up there, all through mathematics. And that's the thing that kind of blows me away the most, is that, I mean, you know, to see that they'd have only really seen it in black and white, because the only reason we're getting these in colour now is because of digital camera equipment, effectively, and the fact that we can hold the exposures so much longer. But basically, everything we get the first time round comes through black and white. I'm seeing this in black and white. You're seeing this in black and white at the moment. Later on, we're going to see all the colour. Now, I don't know if they had that colour back then, I don't know if that's something that's just a process we're able to kind of deal with now, but I reckon back then they'd have just seen it as we're looking at it now, but probably not as clear. Well, actually, through the viewfinder, they'd have seen it clear. It was just their actual camera work. They wouldn't have been able to take long exposures because they could have only ever taken one exposure, and they would have had to have kept it dead still during that time. And we get to take a whole load of 2-minute shots and just stack them on top of each other. So I believe that they would have seen it a bit kind of like this, really, but maybe with larger telescopes, so it might have been slightly bigger in their focal point. But it would have blown me away. I mean, that's for sure. But not a clue what they were thinking about then, and whether they knew that what planetary nebulas were. I suppose that was the time they were actually that's the time when we're talking about them looking at it for the first time, really, and what they discovered during their lifetime, which is going to be obviously the first time it was kind of discovered, and whether it was in a 10-year period or a 20-year period. I mean, 1779. It was discovered by Charles. I wonder how old he was. To be fair, this is a relatively small scope to what they were using. So they'd got a much better view of it. But even so, it still would have been black and white. And even looking through the lens, it would have been black. The viewfinder would have been black and white. All that one's offline. But movement, which is mad because it's breeze free out there tonight. I'll tell you what got me into astrophotography was a friend of mine. Ever since I was a kid, I've been always, those times when you walk past a telescope shop and you're kind of gazing through the window, and it's like it's always slightly out of your reach, especially as a kid. There's absolutely no way that you'd be able to get anything that was like decent enough to look at anything without spending an absolute fortune. And so it was always a massive dream. And anyway, one day, it was about 10 years ago now. A friend of mine posted on Facebook a picture that his friend took from his back garden of Saturn, and it was like it blew me away. I mean, it made me go weak at the knees, It was just this amazing shot of Saturn. So I basically got in touch with this guy, and I said to him at the time, I said, I'm curious to know how you took this photograph. And he said, well, okay, I've got all that. Funnily enough, I've just written a list of all the equipment and everything I used to somebody else, so I'll send you that. And it basically listed everything he used to take that photograph. And I went down the list and priced it up. And to be fair, I managed to get it up and running for about £1,000 of English, so £1,000. And that was everything. That was with the telescope, with a go-to SynScan tracker on it, where it basically follows the curvature of the Earth, and basically keeps your object exactly where it is, provided you've set it up correctly. Then kind of added a few things like another DSLR camera, and built a webcam. I basically doctored a webcam I had, which was a webcam that cost 20 quid. And apparently, if I took the lens off of that webcam and attached a little adapter to it, then it had the same sensor as the Hubble Space Telescope, or one of the sensors anyway. But it had the sensor that was being used on the Hubble Space Telescope at the time, which basically gave us HD or something in the old days. And it was 20 quid. So I doctored this webcam and stuck it on through the viewfinder, and without the lens cap on, it's 1,000-time magnification from what it was. So put it in the hole, and lo and behold, I could take pictures of the moon really close up, and take pictures of Saturn and Jupiter and so on and so forth. The one I took of Saturn was a little bit rough, and it was early days, and the webcam wasn't brilliant. Since then, I've had better webcams for it, but I just haven't been able to see Saturn. It's just not quite come into view. I've even raised the telescope so it comes into view, but every time I raise the telescope, it sunk further and further down. So I know it's coming back, but I just don't know what year it's going to be when it comes back, because it's been a right pain to get at the moment. I know I can get a better shot of it. Tried to find it the other night. For some reason, the webcam didn't pick it up. It was right in the centre of the shot. I know that for a fact. But that's what got me into it, was that one photograph. I've been chasing that dream ever since. And now I love the nebulas. That's my favourite thing up there at the moment. On nebulas. Galaxies next. Star clusters I'm not really that into at the moment. I might start taking some star clusters once I don't find them as interesting, or I'm not at that stage of evolution yet. I've got a lot to do with the filters at the moment. The filters and the nebulas, that's what I want to catch at the moment. And now I know where half the objects are. as opposed to the other night where I shot the whole night and I couldn't get the object at all that I was after. I was trying to get the Horse's Head Nebula and I got none of it. And it's all on YouTube, which is a bit pain because it's a bit fake and a bit stupid. But I was just pointing up at the sky because it's basically, the trouble with that one is that you can only see it in infrared light. So you couldn't use it until later on, really. No, I've not taken a good one of Saturn as yet. I've taken a shot of Saturn, and you can clearly see that it's Saturn, but it doesn't do it justice. I mean, when you look at it through the viewfinder, through the eyepiece rather, it's like someone's painted it on the front of your telescope. It's just absolutely glorious. It just sits there. It's really small, and it just sits there in the middle, but it's pin sharp and it looks absolutely beautiful. It looks like yellow, effectively. But trying to get that through the atmospheric wave, which is a process you have to go through by taking the photograph and putting it through a couple of programs. I just don't have the footage of that again to try and do it again properly. But with all that moving around, and I was on manual focus at the time as well, so every time you touch the focuser, you touch it a little bit and it would move, the whole shot would wobble around. So it was really kind of old days, and I just didn't have the right equipment to do with it, really. I was all making it up as I was going along. But since that day, I've not been able to get it. But on that journey to get it again, then I think I've taken some great shots. They seem to be getting better and better. So maybe Saturn's waiting for that moment when I can actually process it properly. And I think it will now, because I bought myself a new webcam. I don't know if you can see that. This little puppy here I bought out, and this is going to be my new planetary webcam. So when it does come into view, I'm ready for it. Okay, so low atmospheric waves, I believe you get that in the winter where the air is kind of more still. There's a lot of heat rising at the moment, so you're going to get a lot of that going on, a lot of heat waves going off across the thing, and that kind of like that basically makes the shot wave around. So Saturn effectively to me is dancing around on the webcam. It's like moving around like this, and it's just jumping all over the place, you know. But what the programs do now is that they take all the footage you've got of Saturn, it sorts out all the good frames, and now puts all the good frames at the beginning and puts all the bad frames at the end. So it's just swapped everything around, which is like truly incredible if you ask me. Then I choose how many of those frames I want to stack, and I'll take about 50% of all of the good ones, and bin the rest. And then what it'll do is it'll stack those all on top of each other, and they'll be the ones that are closest and more in focus than all the ones it's just thrown away. After it's gone through that process, it's then up to me to bring out the finer detail by moving certain little wavelets on the side. And so you really are kind of, you know, makes me laugh when you hear people say, when they see a picture of Saturn, they go, "Oh, it's fake, it's been photoshopped," and you're like, "Well, actually, yes, it has been photoshopped, but not to make it fake, just bring it out, and the things you can do now to enhance the photo from this black and white shot that you're seeing right now." Because after it's gone through this process on this very program that I'm using at the moment called Nebulosity, it will stack all these shots on top of each other, and then after it's stacked all these shots on top of each other, I'll then do an auto color balance, and it will bring the color out in them, and then I'll digitalize the shot more, and it will enhance the colors even more, and it will start making all the different black and all these white stars on here won't be white anymore. You'll have some red, some will be like blue, some there'll be all the colours that you need for stars. Some will be orange. And we're on shot 29 at the moment of 60, so halfway through, which is pretty good at 120. So there's a bit of time for more, I think. And they're all looking pretty good at the moment. That one is slightly out, or is it just me? No, that's slightly out. It's behaving itself and it's in the right place in the sky. I can't believe it was bang on target when it went there, because the other two things I was searching for tonight I couldn't find. But this one, bam, it just went straight to it. It's a really bright nebula as well, you know. I mean, that's only a 2-minute exposure, and it's got quite a lot of it. Yeah, I would say the same. To be honest, I like the beauty of these objects. I like what really interests me about the nebulas at the moment is that I believe that's left over from the explosion of the star, and that's all the different particles, the effectively the primary elements, all sitting there ready, waiting to smash into each other to then form the secondary elements when they join, and effectively starting the process of getting to the stage we're at now. By as they smash together, they obviously become, they clump together, if you like, don't they? It looks like snowballs. And I'd love to know if that's what happens after stars exploded, and whether the nebulas are the primary elements or if they're now the secondary elements. I believe the nebulas are what's left behind by exploding stars. And what I love about that is that that's obviously, for me, that's the beginning. So that's where it all starts off from. So that's what fascinates me more than anything, is knowing what those elements are. Now, I can't tell you offhand what they are now, but all the colours represent all the colours of the nebula that you'll see that come out in the final shot represent different kind of gases and different elements, effectively, like you have hydrogen, you have oxygen. You won't have oxygen until this point. Yeah, you do. You get oxygen as well. So you get all the elements that we know about anyway, effectively mixed in from all the elements that are there. And you can see those in the different colours that are around there. So you might have a green, or you might have a purple, or I don't know. Like I said, I couldn't tell you what they are. But it's those colours and those nebulas. I mean, the best one is the one directly above my head. I'll bring the cursor over the screen. Basically, just this one right here. M42. Now, I love these colours in there. Now, I couldn't tell you exactly what elements they are, but that to me is the starting of either a solar system or a galaxy. That's what I think that's going to turn into, because you've got a series of stars in the middle. There's about 9 in the middle there. So whatever's brewing is brewing from that spot at the moment. And we'll see, there might be a lot more than that. So that's all I can see at the moment, obviously. But I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that's what's happening there. Is a star's exploded, and now it's going through the second stage of everything got swallowed. Now the star has probably become a black hole, and all of this stuff will start circling it, and as it starts circling it, it'll bash into itself and bash into each other, and so on and so forth, until everything begins. So yeah, really, I just like looking up there and seeing all the different things. Then you see how many galaxies you can get in one shot as well. I got, I think, 5 galaxies in one shot the other day, 3 which I named. And you think to yourself, well, that's, those are galaxies and how big they are in themselves. And I've got just 3 of them or 5 of them in this small space of sky that I'm looking at. And they're so far away. In fact, 25 million light years away. That means it's taken like 25 million years to get to us. So we're seeing it 25 million years ago, which is amazing to think about, really, isn't it? I mean, just look at the number of stars we're looking at in this one shot. and that is such a small amount of the sky. It's almost like we're looking right through the Milky Way, the Milky Way arm there. That is something else. Definitely some of those stars will be galaxies. But each one of these stars out here effectively, or should have at least one planet orbiting it, according to NASA and other people. I guess it's NASA that are looking, which means that would be the biggest planet orbiting it, so that would be something like Jupiter, and they just probably can't see the dimming of the light for something like, I mean, if they can, it's pretty amazing. But they can certainly see that there's definitely one big thing. So effectively, that to me means that I think every single one of those stars out there is going to have there's a Goldilocks zone. It's going to have a planet circling within that place. So they've all got to have eco stars. And if each one of those have got eco stars, there's got to be at least a couple or a few million that are more advanced than us. And certainly a lot that are younger than us as well. But it'd be interesting to see how it's all come about, isn't it? Do you know what? I don't know, because at the end of the day, I work. When I do work, I have to work nights. Um, well, all through the day and through the night. So I'm not back till about 3 o'clock in the morning at the earliest on work days. And then that normally knocks you out for the next night as well. And then you get clouds come over on the nights when you can do it, and that really like knocks you back. Having the motivation for doing it is a night like this, which is like kind of 3 nights where I'm not working. And I was hoping for a clear night to just fill right this little gap right here. I felt too tired last night. I could have done it, but you just suddenly, you have to be in the right frame of mind, and you have to want to do it. Because I mean, sitting up all night looking at the screen and just looking at this one picture isn't as good now as actually effectively tomorrow morning. I'm going to be more excited about developing this tomorrow morning than I am looking at it now, because that's the exciting part. That's when the picture suddenly jumps out and like hits you in the face. Collecting the data is something that you've got to be in the right mood. Tonight I'm wide awake. I feel good. I've got a coffee. Built a sunbed in the garden with my daughter today, which was really nice. Was thinking about doing solar today, as well. But then I thought, well, you know what? I'd quite like just a little bit of cloud to come over every so often, rather than it just to be beating down hot the whole time on it. I didn't want to ruin the camera since I haven't actually used it on anything else yet, so I got a bit scared and thought I don't really want to go out there in like the blazing heat to start capturing the sun. Although I really want to get out there and do the sun, I'm just a little bit scared at the moment of burning all the equipment. I don't know why, because I've got the right filters, but I'm just nervous about it. So just in case there's any kind of little pinhole like hole that I can't see, and I don't want to ruin the camera before I try that out on the moon. And the moon's playing hide and seek with me at the moment as well. That hasn't been out or up high enough for well over a month and a half. So what's the motivation in that? Well, there isn't any really. It's basically just, I suppose, about twice or three times maximum a month, I can normally get out there and do something on it. I'd like to do it more, but it either ties in every day that I'm working. You normally get a clear night, and the next two nights are always cloudy and wrong. So the fact that I've got a shed and it's all set up, that's really good. That's like, that's the big bonus in all of this, because if I had to break it down every night, bring it into the house, put it in the corner of the room, put it out, put it in exactly the same spot that I made the other night, which has got to be in the middle of the garden, so it's got to sit on the grass now. Now it's got to be dead level and dead even again. Now I've got to line it up with the North Star again. Now it's going to take you like 2 hours just to do the whole setup. You know what I mean? And then you've got to polar align it again, and it's all a pain in the bum. The fact that I've got it permanently set up in the shed means that now I can literally just switch it on, punch in the date, punch in the time, and I'm set up in about, I think tonight it took 5 minutes, because I don't have to polar align it anymore. I don't have to align it with 3 stars, because effectively it's not moved from the last position I had it in. So, and it found the objects out. Well, it found this object. It didn't find the other two, which was a bit nuts. But well, it did find the other two, but one of them was behind the tree, which was the Dumbbell Nebula. That was going to be the viewing tonight, but I've got some good shots of that already. But I wanted to get that one with this filter, because that's what I'm doing at the moment. Is I'm taking all the shots I took before without the filter. I'm now taking with the filter that I've just bought to get, and the shots, to be honest, have come out so much better. I mean, M42, the one above my head right now, this one here. That one was taken with the filter, and that's the best I've ever taken of that shot. By the way, how is the stream tonight? Is it flickering? Am I jerking around, or is it a bit more stable tonight? I'd be interested to know if I am smooth or not, because I'm paying for very fast internet now. Whether I'm getting it in the office and whether the program's set up right is a different matter. But according to everything else, I should be getting and live streaming well within the parameters of actually having a nice smooth image without any stuttering. So let me know if you could, because I'll be interested to know if I've got it right now. That's interesting. I've dumped that one. Oh, that's really cool. Thank you for that. That proves it is working then. I'm still only getting 200 in the office now, but my son upstairs is now getting 600 going through the wireless. Or plugging into one of the router boxes anyway, upstairs. So yeah, that's really cool. Now technically we should be getting 900 in, which is pretty damn hot, to be honest. And I should be getting 150 out on the upload. I think I'm only getting about 60 on the upload, but still that's pretty damn good, really, because I'm in the office and for some reason Wi-Fi doesn't really like hitting me too hard in here. But I managed to get it up to 200 for the in and about 60 for the out. So hopefully, I haven't checked it right now actually. Maybe I'll just have a quick look at it now and see what it's running at. Oh, that's pretty good today. I am pumping out 98 on the upload and 186 on the download. So that for me is that's plenty good enough. Although it should be better, obviously, if I was getting the same 600 as that was getting upstairs. But certainly, yeah, kicking out. Maybe my latency must be better as well because I've set that up as well much better. Apparently, I've set it up better, so clearly it's working. If at the moment, if I'm not stuttering. I'm definitely happy with kicking out 100 in upload. And damn well should be sweet for that. I mean, that's the future. That is right there. BT full fibre. That's what I've got. Well, yeah, listen, it's 6 a.m. I think you definitely need to get some sleep if you've got a chemistry exam tomorrow. So, yeah, mate, get some sleep. Nice one. Thanks for even watching for that kind of time. If you're, I'll keep the noise down as well so you can get some sleep. I wonder if I'll still be here when you wake up. What time is your exam? What time have you got to be up for your exam? Or maybe I shouldn't be asking you questions because you need to walk away from your keyboard right now. So, anyway, sleep well, and maybe we'll still be going. I've got about another 40 minutes worth of shots to take. So that's going to take me to just gone 2. If it stays in the same place in the sky, I might treat myself to take some more. So we'll see what happens. Okay, get some rest, mate. And yeah, leave it on in the background because that way I keep the viewer count. Oh, sweet. Well, good luck with that exam because yeah, if you're learning that kind of stuff in it at the moment, then that's all basically about what's going on out there. Good night, mate. Sleep well. Right. I'm actually getting some really good ones tonight. I'm getting lots and lots So quite excited about the processing tomorrow. I think this is it's definitely going to please me. Now I've got new processing skills as well, so that's going to come into play tomorrow as well. So quite happy I ended up with this shot, actually, to be honest. It wasn't what I set out to get, although it's quite nice to do this one with the filter, to be fair. It's always come out well the last 2 times I've done it, and now it's without all the equipment I've got now, so I'm hoping that this one's going to come out the same, or better, a lot better. Because tonight I'm using a filter. That shot's not going to be better. Actually, no, it is alright, that's just my eyes. Does it look like it's moved? No, that looks good. These glasses are wonky. It's now 2 o'clock in the morning. And to be honest, it's been pretty stable tracking wise tonight. I don't think it's moved much off of that square. So well happy with how I've got that set up. It's taken a 9 to 10 years to try and get that tracking that stable. So maybe I've mastered it now. Maybe. Finally, it's all coming together after 10 years. Mainly due to the power of the equipment that I've got behind me now. I mean, for this program to be able to stack all these shots on top of each other and give me a colour image at the end of it blows me away every time. Processing's like Christmas Day. That one did move a bit. Right, so movement on that as well. Now maybe there is something slightly out, to be honest. I always get to about 2 hours worth before something goes out of line, so we'll see what happens. That's 3 off colour now.
sector. That is exactly the shot I'm looking for. That is one pin sharp nut. Yeah, very happy with that. Oh, shot 54, let's hope shot 55 is as good as that. Because I've had 2 bad ones before that, or at least 3 bad ones before that. Movement. Too good from bad. Always happens around about 2 hours in. Everything starts to move too much. The only trouble with the winter is that you have to start so late. Sorry, the summer. So you have to start so late at night, 11, 12 o'clock at night, to get any kind of darkness. But you have to sit up half the night trying it out, mind you, I guess, with 2 hours on the clock, as it seems that that's when the shots only allows me like 2 hours with the telescope before it starts going fuzzy all the time. Like that one is terrible as well. So it only appears to give me 2 hours on the scope anyway. So it's probably an advantage, isn't it? So I'll see what happens. If the next 3 don't give me any good ones, then I'm jacking it in for the night. It means I can just about hit 2 hours on the stream as well. So I'm happy with that. Almost. That's on the brink of being usable. Probably got enough to throw it away though. And we'll see what happens in 2 more shots. Because that would have been up to 2 hours then. And that seems to be all that the scope wants to give me. Is 2 hours of good tracking. So if these next 2 are not as good as this one, then that's the time to call it a night, I think. There it comes. Okay, just in or just out? Just in. I think if I'm being picky, I can use it. I think I can just about use that one. That's 1 in 3 though, that's not good enough for me at the moment. I knew you'd do that to me. We put a really perfect one right at the end. Teasing me to want to carry on is what you're trying to do. Question is, I suppose I could, it wouldn't hurt to go for another 10. Stick with it, Dan, stick with it tonight. What you like? Oh no, that's 2 good ones down. Okay, right, so let's do another 10. Ten more. 10 more. Oh, you're in for a treat tonight. Another 10. We've gone past 2 hours. And we're looking at the Ring Nebula. The last 2 hours. in black and white, which is not what the final shot's going to look like. It's going to look goldenly beautiful, to be honest. I think it's lots of blues and lots of reds, I believe, if I remember rightly. And tonight I'm using a filter, which I've never used on this object before, and I don't think I've ever got it this sharp either. So this should be a really good version of something that already looks good in the old processing before. So hopefully this time round it'll look a lot better. There's no shot's going to disappoint me. I can see it happening. The suspense is killing me. But that one is so good though. Yep, I can handle that one too. That one really brings out the centre of the nebula. Okay, well that's 3 stable ones. And a satellite trail, but that's fine. Because apparently I can get rid of that. The magic of processing. Although I don't mind them so much actually, to be honest. Be part of the shot. Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. Busy skies though, another satellite. Maybe it's lucky I can get rid of them because there'll be lines all over the screen if I don't, when I stack them all together. Okay, well it's blue in the middle, and it is dark red on the outside and orange in the inner bit apparently. That's hopefully the image that I'll be getting out of that. That's still holding up. That's a tease, isn't it? Might have to do another 10. That's 7 already. Got that buzz where I don't want to give up if it's still going so well. I just want to transfer that as many as I can and try and go for the record amount of shots stacked. I can't remember what that record is at the moment, to be honest. In the last ones of the Galaxy, there was probably about 40. At the moment, I've taken 60 plus 10, so 70. And I know that at least 30 of those would be good. So actually, I don't think there was as many in that last. I don't think the Galaxy was 40 in the end. I think it was probably only about 20. This could well be the record then. If they're as good as that one that's just come out, and the last 3 that have been very acceptable as well, and that one is looking very good. That, in fact, is the sharpest I've seen yet. Evenly dark all around. Great centre. I wonder why that's come out so well. Teasing me on number 8, that's why. It's teasing. Can't tell if that's my eyes or if that one slipped a little bit. But that's an extra 20 minutes of data anyway.
Right, I think I'm going to quit there because the sun is starting to come up, as it is now 10 to 3 in the morning, so that is definitely me done for the night. Thanks for watching or tuning in later or whatever. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we'll do this as often as we can, which is quite scarce at the moment, but you never know, we might get one of a few good days in a row here. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks for watching.